In this video, I'm going to be breaking down two trades that I took that netted me over $2,000 in profit. I'm going to keep this very raw, short, and to the point, just going over my trade. And I'm going to be doing this every single day, so make sure you guys subscribe. And if you want my alerts for completely free, there's a free 7-day trial, which is the first link in the bio, if you want to trade live with me every single day. Without further ado, let's get into the trade recap. So first thing you guys can see at 11:41, I shorted 439.5 with a 10-point stop on NQ. So I was originally planning for a 6.3 to 1R ratio. You can see this is where I was looking to enter. Now I'm going to break down exactly why. First thing you always want to do is you want to look at the range that we're trading in. So this is the 50% range, meaning you want to short on the top half and you want to long on the bottom half. Now, since we were trading up higher and I thought we were going to continue a little bit lower, what I decided to do was look for a setup within this area. The first thing that popped out to me was that we had this breaker block, meaning this is a unicorn setup. There's a breaker and a fair value gap, and you can see that we were trading into it. We already rejected from the fair value, or we already rejected here, but I wanted to see us trade above the 50% level of this breaker block. So to get really precise entries, I'll miss out on a lot of trades just because I'm looking for a perfect entry. So I was looking to take this trade on the top half of the already existing 50% level that we had marked out. So I'm looking to take a short in the top quarter or top 25% of this actual breaker block for the best entry possible. And whenever I trade NQ, I always have a 10-point stop loss no matter what, not at previous highs or lows. And the only reason for that is just because my risk management makes a lot more sense that way. So you guys can see we traded into that level. I'm going to clean up the chart here a little bit so you guys can see. You can see we traded into that level and started to reject. This was my area that I was watching. My stop loss is up here, and you can see we started to reject. Now, when the market is trading on a 1-minute time frame and we have such a tight stop, we have really high risk to reward. So yeah, I always mark out my targets, which would be previous swing lows if I'm shorting. So I had my one take profit here and then one below here. And you can see we traded in and we took our first trim at this level. And then once I hit my first TP, my stop loss goes to break even. But when we're up almost 3R on a trade, I like to trail my stop loss. So my stop loss then was put at this high. As you can see, it would have stopped me out there in profit. But over here, you guys can see I did trim at that low and move my stop loss there. It was a 3R play, meaning I risked $3 to make $1. So for every $1 I risked, I made $3. So that was the first trade I took on the day, which took me around 2 hours waiting for the market. So I didn't find a trade throughout this entire chop. I missed this entire move down. I waited through this chop, and then I was able to catch a small portion here, which netted me around $1,200. My next trade was taken at 133. As you can see, I said I'm trying to short at 469.5, and then I ended up top ticking again, and the play went in my direction. And I want to show you guys exactly why. At this time, I was watching order flow only, just seeing how the market was going, and what I started to see was that we had tons of buying pressure happening at the highs of these candles, tons of pressure, tons of volume. But then this is where my eye really got caught for shorts, because we saw a large influx of buyers stepping into this area of 59.65 on ES, meaning that there was tons of institutional buyers stepping in at this level, but we failed to really continue higher and see a push based off of this type of delta, meaning that in this area there were passive sellers weighing the price down, causing those buyers to get trapped at those highs. And as I'm trading, I always have ES pulled up onto the side. This way I can monitor what ES is doing, watch the order flow there, because it's much easier to read than NQ, and then I can take the trade on NQ if the market's trading similarly. So because of that reason, I started looking for reasons to short at this area. And this is going to seem very funny, but all I literally saw was that this was a previous mean reversion area, meaning this was a previous area we were rejecting a lot from. We were trading into the 50% or the consequent encroachment of this area, meaning the top half is where I was looking to short, and I took this trade exactly at 133. So this is where I took my trade, and I alerted it obviously to Discord. I'm trying short at 469.5, and if you guys remember, I always have a 10-point stop, and then I target usually previous lows. So my minimum here was a 2R trade, and then I was looking to target a 4R trade. So I would have entered the position. You could see how close it got to my stop loss. This would have been my first take profit. We would have gotten there. My stop loss would have been moved to break even, and at this point, once we put in this high and then continued back down, my stop loss would have moved into profit and I got stopped out. I ended up making just around $1,000 on that trade as well. Overall, today was a really difficult day because my two trades that I took were at 11:40 and then 1:30, meaning that I didn't trade for the first 2 hours, didn't catch a trade for another 2 hours, and then I watched the market for another 3 hours after I took this trade, forward testing, just getting some practice in. This is the part of trading not many people will show you because this is not that glamorous, and this is literally how boring trading is sometimes. It's not always going to be like the Wolf of Wall Street where you're making $20 million in three hours. What ends up happening is you're sitting there waiting for a setup, and you're going to have to navigate through all this choppy market to just catch a small move that happens. And if you guys learn anything from this video, it's that your money is made on the entry. Be super picky with where you enter your positions, and then you will be better off. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to trade live with me, first link in the description is a 7-day trial to my Discord. You can join that if you want. If you don't, I have a free Telegram where I post education, all sorts of things like that as well. And if you want to know the futures firm that I'm trading on, it's Alpha Futures. You could use code Shinobi for a 10% discount. That will be the second link in the description. If you guys enjoyed, I'm going to be posting videos like this every single day, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.